don't really want to be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, I'm a terrible singer. That's fine. I'm taking voice lessons. That's for another video. Obviously, they're working so well for me. I want to talk to you today, though, about what we can learn about our copywriting and our emails from NSYNC. I was obsessed with Lance Bass, like posters of him plastered over every surface that I owned, from my wall to my locker. His face was just everywhere. And somewhere in my brain, I'm pretty sure I still have the lyrics to every single NSYNC song ever memorized. If one came on the radio, even though I don't think I know it, I find myself, I can just go, right? So I was obsessed. But I feel like there is an excellent lesson in these NSYNC lyrics. I don't really want to be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. What does this have to do with your copy? So much. So many times when we are running a business, we become so overwhelmed and concerned, you could say, with making the sale that we forget about the other side of the coin. And that is what our prospective clients or prospective customers are feeling by constantly being sold to. So when we are not sending out regular emails, for instance, because email marketing is a really, really big one, I feel like, for these particular lyrics, we have a tendency to send out emails when we want something from our client or our customer, right? We send them an email because we want them to purchase our new product or service, or we want them to see that we're having this big sale, or we want them to see that there's a really big discount going on right now in our store. We want them to come to us and we want them to spend their money with us. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Building your email list, having an email list, selling to your email list, trying to sell to people, there is nothing wrong with that. Don't mistake me. But what is wrong, and what makes people feel ick, is when they are only ever sold to. Email is such a beautiful tool. You can do so many things with it. But one of the most important things you need to do with it is utilize it not only to sell, but also to educate, to inform, to delight, to entice. You need to use your email to not only sell the things that you're trying to sell, your products and services, but you should also use it to get to know your audience and to let them get to know who you are too. You can tell stories that are completely unrelated to anything that has to do with your business, just to help people get more of an insight into who you are and what you're like, because it's those types of things that make people feel loyal to you, make people feel intrigued to you, and make them not want to say bye, bye, bye to you. See how I linked that back? So one of the stories that I've told that absolutely blew up, I was not expecting this at all, was a story about my dog, Charlotte. So Charlotte is a Chihuahua. She passed away about a year ago. She was very old. The running joke with my husband was that she hated him so much that she was going to outlive him, which did not in fact happen, but we were pretty sure she was making a good go of it. So the story goes like this. I was in the very early days of dating my now husband. He came over one night for dinner and he went and sat down on my couch to watch some TV. I was finishing up some things in the kitchen, and he made the mistake of sitting in Charlotte's section. So she would squish back in the corner of the couch as close as she could get to like the meeting of the cushions, and she had blankets, and she would burrow underneath the blankets. And he sat in that spot. So she went over and jumped up on the couch and she walked over to his lap. Now, up until this point, they had not necessarily been great friends. He did not like her. She did not like him. It was just a very big clash of personalities, which was surprising to me because he's a cat person and she was very cat-like. Nonetheless, she proceeded to walk over and sit in his lap, and he looked at me like, "Oh my God, are you seeing this? Can you believe this? This dog, and we've historically hated one another, has come over to my lap. She is sitting in my lap." And so he reached down and he was going to scratch her ears, right? This was going to be a bonding moment. What in fact happened was she was so angry that he had sat in her spot on the couch that she pooped on him. You can imagine his surprise and his anger and my horror. I to this day cannot believe that he still married me, but here we are. So I got to thinking though about bravery. This tiny little 8-pound dog felt so self-righteous about what was hers that she was brave enough to poop on a 200-pound man. And it made me think, where could I be more brave in my business, right? Where could I put thought and effort into my business in places where I am currently afraid? Those are the kinds of stories that you can tell with your email. Those are the kinds of stories that people love and will relate to and will share with people and will help grow your visibility. So instead of making people want to say bye, bye, bye to being part of your email list because all you ever do is try to sell to them, write emails that also tell more about you, so that they can learn about you, so that they can relate to you, so that they want more of what it is that you have to offer. And you'll be surprised, it's also going to help up your email open rates, not just necessarily with the good subject lines, but when they see that you write good stories, they get excited when you come into their inbox. They don't just ignore you or delete you because they know that what you're going to ask for is more money, right? And that's what we want. We want people to see our emails, get excited to open them, actually open them. And that way, when we are selling something, people are so enamored with us, they love us so much that they want to buy what it is that we're offering. And that is the key to selling more.